Humm, baby.
Enjoy this great game.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Humm Baby Baseball channel. This is Eric, and today it's time to do my predictions for the 2021 season. We are getting ready for opening day, and it's time to get into this. Going to go through the American League and then the National League. Stay tuned for another video. The next video, I will go through the playoffs and my World Series prediction, just to keep these videos not too long. So starting with the American League East, in fifth place, I do have the Baltimore Orioles. They have a lot of really good-looking prospects, a lot of very good youth coming through the system. They are going to be very competitive very soon. And that goes for most of the teams that are not looking too good this season. Most teams at least have a bright future, so almost every baseball fan has something to be happy about or excited about, although not all for 21. And the Orioles are a team I just don't think has enough yet to get out of the basement. In fourth place, it is going to be, in my opinion, the Boston Red Sox. Now, the Red Sox I just talked about, again, they still have some talent. It wouldn't be a bad bet. Their World Series odds are very low right now, not very good odds, and there's a reason for that. It's just that the lineup and the rotation just missing some thump right now, and they're in a little bit of a transition period. I do like some of the arms in the bullpen, though, but there's just too much competition in the East, and that brings me to the third place team. And I'm going to actually go with the team I picked to win the division last year, and I was right. And that's the Tampa Bay Rays. I like the Rays. I think the Rays are excellent, but I just think they're due for a tough year. Things tend to go their way, and they always do well, and I appreciate their style of play and that they can take a low-budget team and turn them into champions, and it's impressive. But I do think, I just have a feeling that this year, the other two teams I'm about to talk about are going to have big years, and they are going to be at the top of the East. And that's the only thing, that's the only reason that someone has to be third, because the three teams in the East, these top three teams are all very strong. So I got to pick someone, and I'm going to say this year it's going to be the Rays that fall in third place. So that leaves, you already know, the Yankees and the Jays. Who's first, who's second? Now I'm predicting for the end of the year, and I honestly think that the Blue Jays, if they are in a race, that they're going to add. And the Yankees have a lot of injury problems. I don't think anyone's crazy if they pick the Blue Jays to win this division. Personally, for me, I think it's going to be tight, but I am going to say that the Blue Jays finish in second place and make a wild card. I have the Blue Jays as the number one wild card team. And you don't want to be a wild card if you can help it. You'd like to win the division, but it is a tough division. I am going to have the Blue Jays, who have added, a team that was already had a lot of youth and looked really impressive, and you add two basically superstars to that lineup. George Springer, without a doubt. Marcus Semien in 2019 was definitely a superstar. He had a down year, so who didn't have a down year? Yelich had a down year. He's still a superstar. So I think that this Blue Jays team has really improved, but I'm going to say they finished just a 2 or 3 games out. The Yankees are going to have injury issues like they always do. The Yankees are going to lose some games, but overall, over 162, there's just too much firepower. I got the Yankees winning the American League East. Moving on to the Central, in last place at the bottom, I'm going to have the Detroit Tigers. They have some decent names. Jacoby Jones, they were able to re-sign Jonathan Scope, and so on, but there's just so much inconsistency in the rotation, at least the rotation that I think is going to be out there for most of 21. However, their youth, they have amazing pitching. I think their rotation will be a strength by 22, definitely 23, but not quite 21. So the Tigers not quite ready, in my opinion. I think they'll finish in fifth. For fourth place, I actually had to think about this one, and I'm going to say it's a long season. There's going to be surprises somewhere. And I'm going to make my first major surprise here. And that is, I'm going to put the Cleveland Indians in fourth place. Their window might barely be open for another run, but they're going to have to prove that. They've traded away so much talent. The pitching staff is looking iffy. Yes, they still have the best pitcher in the game at the top with Bieber. But after that, yes, you traded away Clevenger. You've traded away now Carrasco. You traded away one of the best talents in the game with Francisco Lindor, and yes, there's still some good talent with, Jose Ramirez is in there, and other guys, the lineup still has a little bit of thump left. But I think that, when you start breaking down and trading away, you're showing you're not really competing right now. They're kind of doing a little bit of a mini, rebuild or what's going on. I don't really know in Cleveland. And that does mean I'm going to pick the Kansas City Royals to finish in third place. They traded for Andrew Benintendi. That helps. They have Carlos Santana. That helps. Jorge Soler is going to hit a bunch of home runs. They still got Whit Merrifield. They still got Salvador Perez, Hunter Dozier, a lot of exciting players. No, these guys are not absolute game changers, pitchers, but as a combination of a bunch of guys, I think they will score enough runs. And with a pretty decent rotation now, they got Mike Minor added to that rotation. I think he's going to be better than 2020. You still got Brad Keller. You still got Brady Singer. And I think it's just going to be enough. I'm not saying the Royals are going to have a excellent year. I think most of the wins are going to go to these top two teams I'm about to talk about. But I think it's going to be close. And I think I'm going to have the Kansas City Royals having a very strong season compared to expectations anyway, and finishing in third place. But in second place, this is going to be close at the top. But I'm going to go with the Twins for second place this season. I'm going with the Twins in second place. And the Minnesota Twins have a super strong lineup. Josh Donaldson, I just don't know if Donaldson is going to have a massive year left in his bat. I didn't love that deal to begin with, just because of one big year in Atlanta, but before that he was kind of injury prone. But I mean, he's still Josh Donaldson. Nelson Cruz is back. He's a little bit older though. You know, is he going to have another big season? I don't know. I hope so. You got Arias, great contact hitter, but the rotation, Maeda, Berrios, Pineda, Happ, Dobnik, and an awesome bullpen with Taylor Rogers and Alex Colomé, who was awesome last year for the number one team I'm about to talk about. But just overall, I think there's going to be some down seasons, or, you know, I just don't know. I just don't have expectations of their biggest two guys in the lineup are going to be that fantastic. I think they're going to be good enough. They're going to hit some home runs. This team is great. It's got a lot of offense, got a lot of good pitching. The Twins are a fantastic team, but I have them finishing in second place. But I do have them as the number 2 wild card. So the Twins will be the second wild card in my predictions. They will go up against the Blue Jays in the wild card game. But at number 1, I do have the White Sox. I love this team. I think this team is stacked top to bottom. I have the White Sox definitely winning the division. And it's going to be close. I think they'll be bouncing back and forth throughout the season, but I think the White Sox have enough, just so much strength that they're going to go on a big run towards, you know, the end of the year, and they're going to take that division. I got the Chicago White Sox as American League Central champions. Jumping into the American League West, in last place, we got the Texas Rangers. The Texas Rangers are not as terrible as a lot of people think, in my opinion, but definitely, you know, just don't have enough there. The West considered a pretty weak division, obviously, but the Rangers, they're going to need a lot of their pitchers in that rotation to bounce back from horrible, you know, performances recently. And the lineup has got some guys, you know, but overall, not enough. I have the Rangers finishing in 5th place. In 4th place, I want to have the Los Angeles Angels, a team that we've known just needs to add legit pitching, and they always, you know, just sign a couple guys who, like last year they got Dylan Bundy. I mean, Dylan Bundy had a nice year, I'll give him that, but you know, you need some top tier pitchers in that rotation. You got Shohei Ohtani healthy, that helps, and they picked up Jose Quintana. I mean, they picked up Alex Cobb. I mean, you know, Quintana has been okay for most of his career, but now he's at a point where he's injury prone. I mean, you getting these guys when they're cheaper. You get what you pay for, as the expression goes, and you got to pay up and get some freaking pitchers to help you out and help Trout and Rendon in that awesome lineup. So I don't think they did enough for the pitching staff, so I got the Angels in 4th place. In 3rd place, a super exciting team. I got to put them all the way up in 3rd. I think they're going to play well. I think they're going to win close to half of their games, if not half. That is the Seattle Mariners. I think they're up and coming. You have Jared Kelenic. He's going to be awesome. And you have a decent top of that rotation. Not only Marco Gonzalez, but you bring back James Paxton to Seattle. And you have some good names in the pen. Overall, I think the Mariners are super exciting. Can't wait to see how they do. I got them finishing in 3rd place. Now for 2nd place in the American League West. And it's between the A's and the Astros. I am actually going to say the A's finish in 2nd place. I think it's going to be super tight, but the thing about it is I think the Astros have some super talent that they're going to bring up, and I'm going to talk about some of that in a minute. But as far as the A's are always a great team, very well-rounded team. They added Trevor Rosenthal to the bullpen. Hopefully, he'll still be all right. I mean, he was great last year, a nice comeback story. And the lineup is good. The rotation is good. The A's always find a way to keep a solid rotation. But I just, you know, last year, the Astros had a lot of bad luck. Things were kind of breaking down for them, and it was a big struggle, but they have so much talent. But later in the year, I think the Astros are going to bring up Pedro Leon. I think he is going to be a beast. Maybe I'm completely wrong on that. Maybe he won't even play in the big leagues in 21, but he's someone I'm eyeing. And I think the Astros with Jake Odorizzi now was going to say A's first, but when they added Odorizzi, that last piece to that rotation, to me that gave the Astros enough to be favorites in the West, and I'm going to say that they win the division by a game or two, by a sliver. I have the Astros winning the West and making it to the playoffs. I know a lot of people don't want to hear that because people don't like the Astros, but you know what? I love Kyle Tucker. I think Altuve and Correa are going to bounce back years. They brought back Brantley, and then that rotation with Greinke, Odorizzi now, McCullers Jr., Urquidy, and Christian Javier, Forrest Whitley on the way, Brandon Bielak. Just a lot of solid names, and I think the Astros do have enough. I'm going to say they win the division in 2021. So a quick recap, I got the division winners as the Yankees, the White Sox, and the Astros, and I have the wild card teams as the Toronto Blue Jays and the Minnesota Twins. Let's jump into the freaking National League, and we'll start with the National League East. And in 5th place, I'm going to have, unfortunately, the Miami Marlins. I know they made the playoffs. It was impressive. I just don't think I don't think they have enough over a full 162 just yet. I do like their young pitching staff, but you know, it's always a learning process, and you know, over a full season, they're not going to be just elite all the time. Miami Marlins, very nice team. The East has a lot of strong teams, good players, but I'm going to have the Marlins in 5th, followed by 4th place, the Washington Nationals. Obviously, Nats not bad. 2019 champs, had a tough year last year. I think they'll even be a little bit better, but I like these top 3 teams so much. I think there's so much talent. I think it's going to be a race between these top 3. So Nationals, 4th place, and then I'm going to have the Philadelphia freaking Phillies. They improved the bullpen a little bit. The bullpen needs to be improved. Bullpen's been terrible. There's been some bad luck. The bullpen has to be better. It can't be so atrocious every year. The bullpen's going to be a little bit better. The rotation a little bit questionable. They have some good names like Nola and some other guys, but the lineup is really awesome. I really love this Phillies lineup, and I think that's going to be their strength. But unfortunately, I'm going to say they finish in 3rd, and in 2nd place, I'm going to say it is going to be the New York Mets in 2nd place. Last year I had them in 1st. It did not happen. People cussed me out, called me an idiot when I had them in 1st. Interestingly enough, no one was there. No Mets fans were to be found until later I did my free agents video, and Mets fans completely cussed me out. But the funny thing is, I was completely right. I said the Mets were going to get McCann, and they were going to trade for Lindor, but they weren't going to get any of the top 10 free agents. That's exactly what happened. So I think I'm owed an apology, but just whenever you guys have time, I'm sure you're just busy, just go ahead and let me know. You know, send that apology, email, whatever, and we'll be good. No, I'm just kidding. But actually, the Mets did a lot. They are a lot better this year, and they should be a lot better. But I still think that the Atlanta Braves are the team to beat in the East. And when they bring back Ozuna, that's when I say I love this Braves team. The pitching is ridiculous. They have it all. Very well-rounded team, and they've been there. They do it every year. They are hungry. They didn't quite make it last year, and they're going to go for it this year. They're coming hard. The Atlanta Braves, I got winning the East. But not to worry, Mets fans, you will be in the playoffs in my prediction as a wild card. I have you as the number 2 wild card team. So there you go. Mets wild card, 2nd place. Moving on to the Central, I got the Pirates in last. Pirates, team that is not terrible as far as their farm system and all that goes. In fact, they have new ownership. I think they're on the right track now, but still the talent is not quite there at the big league level. Going to have them in last place. And then the Chicago Cubs. Chicago Cubs, obviously 2016 champs. It's been a while. So a lot of guys coming off of tough years. I think they'll be better, but I don't think they'll be good enough to make up for the pitching staff, which I'm worried about. They lost almost their entire rotation. They did make a nice signing by getting Arrieta, and that definitely helps. Before that, I was concerned big time about the Cubs. I was even thinking, could they finish in last? No, I don't think so, but I'm not going to put them any higher than 4th. I mean, it's just the pitching I'm very concerned about. I know the pitching was good last year, but that was last year. You don't have Yu Darvish. You don't have a whole lot of guys from the rotation. The bullpen's got some decent names, but we'll have to wait and see. There's a lot of question marks there, as well as everyone knows which version of Craig Kimbrell you're going to get. And even if you get a good version of Craig Kimbrell, it's not like there's a ton there to help him out. So I'm going to say the Cubs in 4th. In 3rd place in the Central, I'm going to say Milwaukee Brewers. They didn't add a ton. They did get Colton Wong. Other than that, some decent minor league deals. Daniel Robertson, I mean, not a whole lot of additions, but that lineup's still pretty good. Yelich should be better. Avisaíl Garcia got some pop there. Keston Hiura, I'm a fan of. Lorenzo Cain, of course, everyone loves Lorenzo Cain, but what kind of season? You know, he's getting a little bit older, and I just not too optimistic that he's got another really big season left in the bat, although he's always good defensively. Pitching staff is very strong, but I love the top two teams a lot. And even with, you know, all these great arms, I think that the Brewers do finish in third, and I have the Cincinnati Reds still high on the Reds. Not high enough to have them winning division, though. I got the Reds in second place this year, and I'm sorry about that. I got the Reds missing out on the playoffs in 21. I was super high on them last year. Obviously, Bauer was amazing, but the offense couldn't get it done. I think they will be better this year. The offense will be better this year, and I think you have a chance to win the division. I really do. But I am going to pick the St. Louis Cardinals, because when you add Arenado, you know the players are excited. The Cardinals are thinking this is our year, and the St. Louis Cardinals are always a team that wins. This is a winning franchise. This is a team that makes the playoffs constantly, goes deep, sometimes wins it all, sometimes doesn't. Sometimes they get beat by the Giants in the playoffs, but no, sometimes they win it all. They won it all in 06, they won it all in 11, and they're due for another run. So I got the St. Louis Cardinals winning the division. Moving on to the West, we'll start at the bottom with the Colorado Rockies. The Rockies, a team, you know, you're trading away Arenado. I think that they're just gonna, you know, there's just not gonna be a winning attitude there in Colorado. This team does not seem to really want to do it right now. You know, Arenado was unhappy. They may even trade away some of their other big names. They do have guys in that lineup, obviously, with Trevor Story, Charlie Blackmon, Ryan McMahon, and so on. And, you know, the pitching staff, they got Gomber. I mean, but when you lose one of the better offensive and defensive players in the game with, you know, Arenado, it's just not worth it for a 4th or 5th starter. And then other than that, you know, John Gray and Marquez and, you know, Freeland, there's some names there, but they are just not good enough. I'm sorry to really make a run, in my opinion. So I got the Colorado Rockies in 5th, and then we'll have the Diamondbacks in 4th place. They traded away their closer. They traded away Starling Marte. They are obviously realizing, this ain't going to work. Bumgarner was terrible. I mean, he should be better, but I think that he's past his prime. I don't think we're going to see the Bumgarner of old, maybe in the playoffs, but first you got to get to the playoffs. That's where he really dominates. But, if you can't get there, it doesn't really matter. And even then, I mean, I don't think he's going to be nearly like he was in 2014 when he was just unhittable. But, Zach Gallen is good, and you got some nice bullpen arms. But the Diamondbacks, kind of like the Rockies, I just don't think there's a winning culture right now. I don't think that it's going to happen for the D-backs. I got them in 4th place. In 3rd place, and I do think there's some excitement in San Francisco. I do think that there's a lot of talent on this team, and I really like this team. The unfortunate thing is, if this was a normal year with just normal teams, with normal talent, some good, some okay, some not so good, then I'd be pretty optimistic. The problem is, of course, we have 2 basically super teams in this freaking division. Now, baseball is baseball and anything can happen. I'm still hopeful, but I'm going to have the Giants finishing in 3rd place. Love Yastrzemski. I think he's the real deal. Dickerson's the real deal. They've proven themselves 2 consecutive years. The pitching staff is where I worry, though. I mean, even though I like the names, I like Johnny Cueto. Who doesn't like Johnny Cueto? But he's past his prime. I mean, come on, we don't know what we're going to get from him. Even Gausman, getting that, big $17, $18 million deal with the qualifying offer, we don't know what we're going to get with him either. I mean, he's not like, a superstar. Then there's some young guys who might or might not be good. Disclafani is nice, and we picked up Sanchez. We picked up some good free agents, picked up some free agents for the bullpen, and it's decent pitching staff, but it's just not at the superstar level of the next 2 teams. And so I have to be honest, and I'm going to say the Giants finish in 3rd. But in 2nd place, who is it going to be, Dodgers or Padres? That's the big question, right? And I thought really hard about this because I wanted to put the Dodgers in 2nd place, but I have to be honest, unbiased, and the truth is, if last year was a full 162 and then a full postseason grind, and then it was a full postseason grind, but after 60 games, it's not like they were too tired. If they had played 200 plus games or whatever, I'd be more likely to say maybe there'll be some kind of a World Series hangover. Maybe these guys just won't be able to follow it up. They got so high, they finally did it. Now they're worn out. Yeah, they got a little off season, but they're just not going to have the fire. But you know what? The Dodgers, after just a 60-game season, they're not going to be tired. They're not going to have much of a hangover, if at all. And they are still absolutely stacked. And that rotation is unbelievable. And Bauer is looking good. So I'm making this. I wanted to see Bauer in spring training. He's looking legit. And Bauer is going to be good. And this rotation is 1 through 5. superstar names all over the place, and the lineup is still stacked, the bullpen is still stacked, and this Dodgers team, and they still have good talent on the way. They have so much talent. They brought back Justin Turner even though they didn't have to. You know, they have guys like Edwin Rios, who's not even going to start. They got like Hybrid Ruiz, who can't get in the lineup because they got Will Smith. They have so much talent that I had to put the Dodgers in first place. So I do have the Padres in second. I think they had an amazing offseason. I have the Padres as the number one wild card, and the Padres are going to take on the Mets in the wild card game in my predictions. And they're going to win a ton of games. They are going to be amazing. They are going to just, tear it up. But unfortunately, I have the Dodgers. Not by a lot. I have the Dodgers winning the division by 2 or 3 games. So that's where I'm at here in the West. So just to recap there, we have the Braves as division winners, we have the Cardinals as division winners, and we have the Dodgers as division winners, wild card, Padres, wild card, New York Mets. I know I feel like these predictions are not too outside the box as my normal predictions are. I guess that's good and bad. It's good because I won't get cussed out as much, but I think I still will get cussed out because that's just what happens when you do predictions in baseball. But on the other hand, I am being honest. I mean, when I go outside the box, I'm being honest. I do have the Indians finishing in 4th and the Royals in 3rd. That's a little outside the box. I do have the Astros winning the division. Maybe that's a little outside. I'm not really sure, but I really wanted to pick the Blue Jays to win the division. I really wanted to pick the Padres to win the division. If I was just going biased, that's what I would do. But I'm being honest, over a 162, I think there's just too much firepower for the Dodgers and the Yankees. So that's why I have it that way. If I was being biased, biased, I'd have the Giants win the division and win the World Series. But I'm realistic. So you guys have a fantastic day. Let me know what you think of these predictions. Put your predictions down below. If you're pissed off because your team didn't get first place, you're going to unsubscribe. That's just fine. I mean, you're going to pretty much unsubscribe to every baseball channel you're subscribed to that does predictions, because obviously your team's not always going to be in first. But stay tuned for my predictions for the playoffs. That's coming up tomorrow. Don't miss it. And I'll talk to you guys next time. Hit the subscribe, hit the thumbs up. Check out my Patreon page as well if you want to support the channel and get some exclusive content as well. You guys have a great day. We'll talk to you next time.
When the Giants come to town, it's bye-bye, baby. Every time the chips are down, it's bye-bye, baby. History's in the making at Oracle Park.